Today what I'm doing is setting up React Native Paper and a tab navigator. I decided to do a tab navigator at the bottom rather than a drawer navigator on the side. One thing I like to do is go through apps that I actually have and see what they do. Now, Twitter has a tab navigator on the bottom and a drawer navigator on the side, but they have a lot of content, right? And I only have just a few things that I want to put in. And like my Starbucks app, there's no sidebar, or there's not even a header bar, there's just the tabs. And the nice thing about the tab navigator is it's next to your thumb. And so it's the most accessible. It makes it the easiest for the user. So I'll just start with the tab navigator. And if I end up growing the app and adding new features, I can always add different things later. So I already installed React Native Paper here by running this. Since it's an Expo project, I just need to add this to my Babel config. So do that, easy peasy. Now if you have another provider such as Redux, which I will, wrap it outside the paper provider, store provider. Okay, so I'll do that later. So this is what I need. And I will do the paper provider. And there we go. Now, of course, this eventually will go away and it's going to be a different component. Actually, it's going to be the navigator that'll import there. This is just a placeholder for now. Let's see, what about theme? Oh yeah, see it, theme. Now this is going to be all the default themes for now. And this also can go in a different file depending on how big it gets. I should just be able to quick fix this here. There we go. And then this is going to be theme equals theme. Here's the theme we set up, and here's all the different properties. Dark, true or false, mode, roundness, colors, all the different colors, all the different fonts, etc. So that's nice to have as a reference. Okay, using the theme in your components, you can either wrap the component in with theme and accessible through props, or I'm going to do the hook, use theme. That's what I've used in other apps. Okay, so I changed these primary and accent colors, and I added a app bar header with just a title. So this is what we've got, app bar header with a title, and then my school. All right, so I'm actually making progress. It's looking pretty good. I made this tab navigator, bottom tab navigator, and I made 4 different screens here: dashboard, resources, subjects, and to-dos. A couple things I did here, okay? So in the app file, that's where I did this status bar and set style light. Now you can do auto, you can do auto and then set it based on whether you do dark or light theme, but I think I'm automatically gonna make it kind of a darker app, so I just set it to the light up here. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is the bottom tabs. The docs say that the bar style is supposed to be primary automatically, but it was blue when I did this. So I ended up using use theme and just setting the background color myself, and that worked. So it's primary, my custom primary color here. I have my navigation folder, and then I'll have another folder for just components. And one of my first components I'm going to make is a fab, a floating action button. One thing I wanted to do before I went any further was to create a new Git repository and push all my changes there. So I now have a remote repository. From now on, I can create a branch when I'm working on a new feature and commit my changes there. Or I'll just say feature. Feature. I can name it whatever I want. I'm not collaborating with anyone else. So there, now I'm on a feature branch. So, like I said, I'm gonna create a new folder called components. And in components, I will do a new file called, or I can call it add button or create button. What do I want to call it? Create button or add button? Create. I want to name things intuitively because, I mean, I've had to read through enough code bases I was unfamiliar with to know that naming things very descriptively and intuitively is so important. If you name things well, it's almost like writing docs in itself, because things are easy to find. You can look at something and know exactly what it is and what it does. So naming things is super important. So I'm just going to copy this and do what I want with it. Come on, Bubba. Boop. Now I don't need the provider because that is already going to be taken care of. Okay, so I added my Fab Group button. It looks pretty nice, but here's how the Fab button looks. Right now, it just console logs everything. When I implement it, it will open a modal, the resource modal. And then I suppose after I create it, I will want to navigate to whichever one it is, resources, subjects, or to-dos. And like I said, I just used it in this app component for now. So now that I've created basically the home screen here, next thing I want to do is do the auth screens, which will require a new navigator. So I want to be able to sign up or log in. And if I'm not logged in, I don't want to see any of this. I want to see something completely different. So that's what I want to do next time.